was this very spot on the Eastern Oval back in 2008 where Ash Baker made an absolute hero of himself, kicking a goal after the siren from some 45 metres out. Who will be the person that stands up for their side this weekend to be a hero to help their side win the 2013 BFL Grand Final? All will be revealed this Saturday afternoon.
This is the spot where the Lake Wendouree Football Netball Club forged their netball dynasty as a premiership factory. Will it be Sunbury or North Ballarat City to take out this week's netball premiership?
This is a very spot where numerous coaches have plotted their premiership success and also walked away victorious after a fantastic coaching performance on BFL Grand Final Day. Who will it be this year?
This Saturday, a group of footballers and netballers from both the Sunbury and North Ballarat City football clubs get their chance to record their grand final moment. Who's going to stand up and be counted when the premiership needs to be won? Welcome to the 2013 BFL Grand Final Footy Show.
Your beauty! Good afternoon, welcome to the BFL Senior Footy Show, the Grand Final edition for season 2013. I'd like to welcome my co-host Sean Kelly. Sean, you've been a part of the show all year, mate. You've done a great job. Welcome aboard for the Grand Final edition.
Thanks, mate. It's great to be here. Wouldn't miss this one for Quids. This is the time of the year when it's most exciting, when it all happens, and some pretty sharp work by ourselves in the intro there too, mate.
I thought it was pretty good, mates, and it's always good to get down to the Eastern Oval. Just the buzz in the air down there, mate. You can sort of feel it. You know, it's not far away from the big day.
It was Wednesday when we filmed that. We'll give a bit of the trade secrets away, and you could already feel the buzz around the place just with the marquees up and the ground being paid and everything like that. It was pretty special.
It was. Mate, moving back to last weekend's prelim final action, the game we'll look at is the big one between Redan and North City. Leading into this game, I think we thought it might have been a bit of an even money game. Redan certainly had the wood on North City a couple of weeks ago. North City had the good win the previous week over Darley, so they certainly went into the game with a fair bit of confidence.
Yep.
After quarter time, it was just all North City. They dominated the game. Their run on the outside was fantastic. Their speed, the likes of Tyler George, Keenan George, these sort of guys got plenty of the footy on the outside, and they certainly cut up the Redan midfield. So in the end, it was North City 2013-133. Defeated Redan 9-9-63. For North City, Sean Lyle was outstanding up forward. I think with Derek Micallef going out of the side a couple of weeks ago, Sean Lyle's really stood up, and he's been their focal point up for the last couple of weeks. And his game on the weekend was the best on ground performance. His 9 goals were outstanding. He probably could have kicked 11 or 12 in the end.
Yeah, he's taken an extra step in the finals. Kicked 16 goals or something in the final series. He's probably the player of the series so far, and you're right. Since Desi's been out of the side, he's lifted.
He has. Michael Williams was very good up forward as well, kicking 5 goals. Sam Bromley-Lynch kicked 2 goals. For Redan, Daniel Colbert and Mitch Phelps both kicked 2 goals. The better players for North City, Sean Lyle, Josh McDermott, Tyler George and Aidan George. The better players for Redan, Brendan Peace, Lee Ryle and Matt Hayden. So it was all North City after quarter time. At quarter time, North City led by 2 goals. And I think Redan's next goal after quarter time came midway through the third quarter. So it just goes to show how they dominated that middle patch of the game.
Yeah, it was outstanding watching that second quarter and just watching North City take the game away from Redan. We knew by half time that the Northies were heading through to their first ever BFL Grand Final since their readmission, and really after half time it was almost an injury in player management, and they kept the foot on the pedal, but they kind of tried to need to make sure that they kept everybody fresher for the next week as well, which almost had some disastrous results when Ryan Luke went down in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it did. It's never good to see any player go down. He didn't look too good. He was obviously in the hands of the trainers, but from all reports coming out of the North City camp this week is he will play.
Yes.
He's a very important player. We know that Sunbury's forward line's very potent with the likes of Simon Clark up there, so they certainly need him to play, I think, for them to be a big chance this weekend.
Oh, you're 100% right. We'll talk about it more later on when we preview the Grand Final, but North City need all their guns firing this week, I reckon, to get over Sunbury.
Just on Redan's performance so far this year, Sean, I think we always think of Redan as being this experienced sort of side that's been a juggernaut over a period of time. This year they've introduced a lot of new players into their side, a lot of players that have played under 18 football and also reserve grade football last year or so. So I think Eamon Gill and his coaching staff have done a really good job this year in developing those younger players. We saw Matt Karras win the Rookie of the Year on Monday night at the Henderson Medal. So I think if they can keep getting some more game time into those younger players, and you never know, Jezza Edwards might even come back next year as well. So I think it's not all doom and gloom for Redan at all.
Every club goes through a regeneration process, and we see it in the AFL as well. And
Yeah.
I suppose Redan has got many similarities with the way Geelong have gone about their list regeneration. They've brought in the kids at the right time and got the games into them while they've still got the experienced players surrounding them. And they've brought in the right kids that can make an impact straight away. Exactly. So I reckon Redan will still be around the mark for a few years to come because they've got those kids coming through. Obviously, their 18s played in a final series this year. Their 16s were in the final series this year. The 16 reserves won the grand final and the seniors weren't far away. So they'll keep regenerating that list through with good talent.
And their reserves are obviously playing in the grand final this coming weekend as well. Shawnee, moving on to the netball from last weekend, the big prelim final between North City and East Point. What a cracking game.
Oh, this was a ripper.
North City 41 defeated East Point 40. Just an outstanding contest to watch. I think it was great to see the spectators down there. It's such a big crowd, and the following for the netball's really developed over the last couple of years, which is great to see. But what a great game on the weekend.
It was a huge vibe around this game, especially watching that last quarter where it was the reverse to their game 2 weeks ago. Then it was North City that had the big lead at three-quarter time and gave it up. This time, East Point went into three-quarter time with a 4-goal lead. North City basically eradicated it straight away, which we didn't think was going to happen when Jordan Bibby went down early in the first quarter. But Emma Roos did a great job going forward. She went from goalkeeper to goal shooter, used her height well, brought North City back into the game, and East Point made some key errors at some key times, and North City ended up getting over the line.
Just on Jordan Bibby, you mentioned how good a performance it was after she went down. I think it would have been easy for North City to throw the towel in, knowing that their key goal shooter was obviously out of the action. But I suppose full credit needs to go to Annie McCartan as well. She pulled a few moves, and obviously they pay dividends. But Jordan Bibby, will she play this weekend or not?
It's a question mark over it. We'll ask Annie McCartan about it later in the show, but with the way that she went down and knowing that she was advised not to attend the Henderson Medal on Monday night just because of obviously the way that her knee was unstable with high heels and everything like that, you'd have to wonder whether she's going to get on the court, and if she does get on the court, how long she's going to last.
Exactly. Shawnee, moving on to the Henderson Medal from last Monday night. It was a great night down at Tabcorp Park. The Henderson Medal was obviously taken out by Jake Edwards from Darley. Jake, obviously the ex-AFL player, who's back at Darley now. Massive family connection with the Darley Football Netball Club, and he's a quality player. And I thought his speech after he won the award was outstanding. He certainly recognised all the people that have certainly had a massive impact on his career. So certainly a very deserving winner. So well done to Jake, and we obviously managed to catch up with Jake Edwards after the medal count. Yes, we're joined by the 2013 Henderson medalist in Jake Edwards from the Darley Football Netball Club. Congratulations, Jake, on a great performance, mate. Well done.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Come with a bit of a shock tonight. So I guess it's something I'm very, very happy to be awarded and very, very privileged. As I was saying to someone before, there's been some pretty good winners in the past few years, and to be a part of that, I'm very, very close to it.
Did you come tonight expecting to poll a few votes, or before you mentioned in your speech that you were thinking about going home before the count started? You obviously didn't think you had a year that would obviously result in this.
Well, look, to be honest with you, I probably thought I had a pretty consistent year, but I guess the track record speaks when it comes to votes. I don't really get noticed too much when it comes to that type of thing. That's actually a true story. I said to my girlfriend, maybe we should think about heading off, and she convinced me to stay, so in the end, she did.
Very good. Now, in terms of the Darley Football Netball Club, mate, I suppose we obviously signed on for next year, so that's great for the club. What are the hopes for next few years? Obviously, Premiership is what we want. Some of the players obviously develop as well.
No, definitely, you're absolutely right there. In terms of football clubs really winning premierships, and it's been a long drought for the Darley Football Club. Like I said in the speech, I give this up for a premiership medallion, and some really good times ahead for the football club and for the club as well. We've probably got a little window for the next couple of years that the playing group definitely feels there's more upside to the playing group, and we're probably going to push really hard next couple of years to try and get in a couple of blokes that I think we need, and hopefully push the North Cities into the summaries, because they are the benchmark and have been the benchmark for the last couple of years. Obviously that's where we want to be as a football club, and we need to keep moving forward as players and as people as well.
Now in terms of the Darley Football Club, obviously it means a fair bit to you. Family connection with your brothers and your old man, obviously very quite hard between them. What does it mean to you?
It's pretty hard to answer. I guess growing up I was a Melbourne junior. I didn't experience senior football until Carlton and then on. So Darley Football Club to me is really gives me that sense of family. It's probably the best football club I've ever been involved in. I've been involved with a few, and the people down there are fantastic. fantastic from coaching staff to volunteers, and just to create that real family buzz that they do have. And that support network outside of footy as well. We've got things set up to support players away footy, so they're the real package.
Mate, thanks so much for joining us on the BFNL Footy Show. Congratulations on the Henderson medalist, and certainly very well deserved this year.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Very good. Now we saw Brooke Thompson from the Melbourne Football Netball Club take out the Senior Netball Prize from Monday night, Sean. She's certainly a very deserving winner.
Yeah, she is her second one in a row, Brooke. She's been fantastic in defence all year for the Bloods for 2 years now, and I suppose is one of the main reasons why Melton made it up into that finals position this year.
Very good, and congratulations to Brooke on her great performance as well. Moving on to this weekend's football and netball schedule.
Wowee.
Shawnee, for this weekend, mate. It's a massive weekend coming up. As we know, football and netball, jam-packed. It's all happening. Mate, the football kicks off at 9:20am with the under-18 football between North City and Melton South. Great to see Melton South get through to the grand final.
It is.
Great win on the weekend, and obviously North City being the form side all year.
Yeah, it is. It's great to see. And Melton South youngsters, they've got a bit of toe about them as well. They'll go close in this one against the North City side that have got a fair few Rebels players and TSC Cup players playing and will start favourites, but at the grand final there's no such thing as favourites.
There's not. And Redan take on Darley at 11:20am in the reserve football.
Another big game, obviously. Redan go into this one straight out of a second semi-final and having had the toe all year. But Darley, there's some experience in that Darley side. They've got obviously Trav Stevenson, the Georgie King medalist for this season, and some really good players in that side that have played a lot of senior footy.
Under 18.5 netball kicks off at 9:30. C-grade netball kicks off at 10:30am, and the B-grade netball between Sunbury and East Point kicks off at 11:45. So it's a jam-packed day, mate, of footy and netball.
Certainly is. It's going to be a fantastic day at the Eastern Oval. You'll hear Briggs' dulcet tones throughout the netball all day. You'll hear mine throughout the footy all day. So if you haven't heard enough of us during the footy show throughout the year, get down to the Eastern Oval and have a listen to us again on the weekend.
Very good. Now moving forward to the netball grand final for this weekend, Sean, between Sunbury and North City. Sunbury have obviously had the week off. Beautifully coached by Kim Bailey all year.
Yeah, they have been.
I think Sunbury need to go into this game as favourites, just with the way they've played against North City so far this season. They've had two really good wins.
Yep.
I think the week off obviously freshens their players up a lot, and also with Jordan Bibby coming in with a injury cloud hanging over her, I think Sunbury need to start favourites.
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct there. Look, Sunbury have been fantastic against North City twice this year. They were dominant against East Point in the second semi-final, and they've got arguably the most dominant player in the league in Sophie Gunn in their goal shooter's arc. They've got some fantastic defenders as well. We know that Beck Moffat and Beck Anstey are probably two of the better defenders in the A-grade competition, and that mid-court, of course, really key to getting the ball down to Sophie Gunn as well. They really need to be on their game this week.
Mate, to manage to catch up with Annie McCartan, who's been a great asset to the North City Football Netball Club, along with her daughters as well, since they joined at the start of this year.
Certainly has. She's turned that club around. Welcome back to the BFNL Footy Show. We're here with North City Netball coach Annie McCartan. Annie, it's been a fair road to get here to this grand final. You've played two ripping games against East Point to get to this stage as well. The win on the weekend was fantastic.
It was just one out of the box, Sean. We had to really fight, and to come out with the win was just fabulous.
Talk to us a little bit about the diversity of the two games against North City. In the qualifying final, it was you guys had the lead in three-quarter time and East Point came from behind. In the preliminary final, the role was reversed. It was a 4-goal lead. You eradicated straight away and then went goal for goal at the end of the last quarter.
Yes, you're exactly right, Sean. And, when you look back at the scoreline, it's much the same. So I think, I'm not sure how it sort of unfolded that it panned out that way. But I think perhaps when you're chasing a team and it means so much to you to get into the grand final, I think that's the prize.
You didn't come into the final series with girls with a lot of finals experience, save from Jordan, obviously with the pride, and Stacey and Gina as well. How have the last 3 weeks, and probably going through, rather than going into a second semi and having a week off, going through the full final series, do you feel that's really benefited the other girls on the team?
Yeah, you're right, Sean. To have that first week and to experience finals, that's probably why that probably did happen. And you're exactly right, to keep going through, they realise what's expected to win a final to keep progressing.
Sunbury's not going to be an easy task this weekend. They're a solid team. obviously a lot of focus on Sophie Gunn, but it's their defence, I reckon it's their key with Beck Locker and Beck Moffat really setting up in that defensive structure. It's something where you've probably got to control the game through the mid-court, I reckon, to get it won on the weekend.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. I think you should be on my side, I think, on Saturday, Sean. No, that's exactly right. It's all just not about the goal shooter. We'll work on tonight to exactly what we need to do right over the court to combat Sunbury from actually scoring, over-scoring us at any stage.
You mentioned before that it's not so much a case of looking after Sunbury. You want to play your game, basically. Get your structures right. Is that the case? And then kind of have Sunbury react to you in the best case scenario?
Exactly right. We want to actually be controlling the game so they have to worry about what we're doing. So we'll go out there, we'll play our normal game, and hopefully we can just get that little kick-start that they are thinking perhaps we need to make changes.
Fairy Tale's coming along beautifully. It's unheard of before this year for North Ballarat City to be up and about in the netball ranks. You've got them there, you've got them to a grand final. What does it mean to take that one extra step this weekend?
I don't think anyone realises how much it means to all of us. The girls have just put in an amazing amount of work. We worked it out for nearly 9 months now together, and to actually bring it all together, to be here on grand final day, to take it out would be just, like you said, the fairy tale come true.
No, we wish you the best of luck. It's a fairy tale either way, but I suppose we look at the way that North City's come on this year, and you've done a fantastic job with the girls. Best of luck for the weekend, and I'm hoping that I'm announcing your name as the premiership coach on Saturday afternoon.
I hope you are, Sean. I think the big one planted on here, Shawnee.
I reckon that can happen as well. Thanks.
Very good, Shawnee. So, what are your thoughts, mate? Who are you leaning towards for the big game?
Look, probably leaning towards Sunbury, although if North City can shut down the feed of ball, as Annie mentioned, if they really need to shut down the feed of ball to Sophie and to Sophie O'Kane as well, they're two shooters. If they can do that, North City are a huge chance, but you just feel that Sunbury, they're pretty even all across the court. They've played well all year. They'll go in with the psychological edge over North City.
Yep.
I just got a feeling they'll get over the line in a close one.
I'm tipping Sunbury as well, and I think obviously with the week off, it'll pay dividends for Sunbury.
Yep.
Just on North City, they haven't had much finals experience other than the McCartan girls. I think Gina...
Neither of Sunbury, really.
Neither of Sunbury, but I think Gina McCartan and also Stacey will play pivotal roles in the North City side this week because they've played numerous grand finals for Lake Wendouree.
They've both been best on court in a grand final.
They have been, so I think they'll play important roles. Just speaking to the players about what grand finals are all about, you know, the atmosphere and I suppose the vibe leading into the big game as well. So I think they'll play important roles. But I think Sunbury, all in all, probably I reckon it'll be pretty tight at half time. I reckon Sunbury's class will shine through in the second half, and Sunbury will have a good win in the end.
Yep, agreed.
Mate, moving forward to the footy grand final, we've spoken a lot about North City and Sunbury so far this year. Look, I suppose just like the netball, Sunbury have had the week off. They've played their best footy at the right time of year. We've spoken about Sunbury, how they've rested players, and we saw them rest players in the last game of the home and away season against North City.
Yep.
It's paid dividends so far this year in terms of the finals. Their finals campaign has been second to none. They had a really good win against Redan a couple of weeks ago. Expecting Andrew Duhow to come back into the side. They've got a really fresh list. On the other hand, North City have really bounced back after that disappointing defeat to Redan at the start of the final series. And their 2 weeks have been outstanding. I think after quarter time they were great last week, and it shapes up to be an outstanding contest this weekend. The only question mark is over a couple of North City key players, Ryan Luke, Derek Micallef. Will they play? I think Ryan Luke will play. Derek Micallef, does he play? Doesn't he play? I'm not too sure. But if he can play and play a role, I think this game can go right down to the wire.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have a chat to Robbie Waters shortly about the injured players and when they're coming up, and you'll hear him go on record as saying they're not going to play players that aren't 100% right. Obviously, they've seen teams fall over in the past, taking in players that aren't fully ready, and they fall over. You're right, this is going to be an absolutely fantastic clash. You can almost discount the last 2 meetings between these two sides because Sunbury had so many players out. I think there's 7 players in the Sunbury lineup that haven't played against North City this year, and that includes the likes of Simon Clark and I think Ross Slight, Ryan Monzel, and a few of those kind of guys that are pretty important players in their structure.
Just on that about Robbie Waters not playing players who are not 100% fit. If Derek Micallef is 80% fit and he wants to play, is Robbie Waters going to say, Derek, you're not playing? I would have thought that it depends on who the player is.
Correct.
And Derek Micallef is one of the quality players in this competition.
80% of Derek Micallef is probably better than 100%
as long as
of
it's not
most
going to hurt his well-being moving forward with his back. If it is, well, he doesn't play, simple as that. But if he's not quite 100% fit, but he wants to play and he can sit in a forward pocket, play an impact role, I think you play him. It's simple as that.
You can almost guarantee that if it comes down to Derek Micallef, he'll say, yes, I want to play.
Exactly.
He wanted to play last week in the preliminary final, but it's an interesting one. They'll have to manage him, see how he goes. They'll ask him if he's ready to go, and he'll say yes. There's no doubt about that. It's then up to Robbie and his coaching staff to decide whether, yes, he is fit, have a chat to the trainers, blokes like Pete Dwyer that have been around that club for a long, long time and know exactly what a player's capabilities are. They'll have a key role in saying whether Derek Micallef plays in this grand final.
The Sunbury forward line obviously been fairly potent in the last little while.
Yep.
How do you see the matchups? You know, Simon Clark. We know that his performance on grand final day last year was second, and probably one of the better performances you'll see in any grand final around the region. Who will go to Simon Clark, do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You look at someone like a Daniel Ross Smith or someone like that would probably
Ryan Luke.
No, I don't know if they'd start Ryan Luke on Simon Clark because they need Ryan's run and carry and really rebounding stuff off half back. He'd probably be more of an opponent for a Ross Slide or someone like that is more of a running player and will play higher up the ground. Clarkie's an interesting matchup. They're going to go tall in their forward line. They'll have Dale Koenig down there. They'll probably have Jack Sullivan down there as well.
And obviously Ross Slide will always push forward and kick the odd goal or two as well. So
they'll start him forward. They'll start him on forward flank and use his aerobic capacity that he's got to really almost Matthew Richardson-esque present up the ground and take marks as a tall marking target across the wing, between the wing and half forward.
And we shouldn't always be talking about Simon Clark. I mean, the form of Sean Lyle the last 2 or 3 weeks,
he's
sensational. It's just for all young kids going to the football this weekend, watch the way this bloke kicks for goal. An outstanding approach as he walks in, and he doesn't miss many.
No.
He kicks some beautiful goals from that pocket, the Peel Street pocket, over the last couple of weeks as well. So he's in great form, and I'm not too sure who will go to him, but whoever does, they've got their work cut out.
Probably Adam Short would probably be the candidate to start on him. Maybe someone like a Brett Chambers, although much like Ryan Luke, Sunbury use Chambo very much as their drive, and he's almost kind of the bloke that fits back in the hole and is the preferred option to quarterback across half-back, if you will. So it's an interesting matchup. Does a Niall McGovern go to him as well? Or he's obviously Niall played on Brendan Favola earlier in the year, but would probably be giving Shawnee probably 3 or 4 inches in height, so maybe more of a Mark Gregg kind of matchup, or on one of the Bromley Lynch twins or someone like that. So it'd be very interesting to see which way the chess pieces fall, so to speak.
Look, you mentioned Mark Gregg. He's played an important role for North City. He didn't do much last week. The week before against Darley, he was very good. But his on-field leadership, the way he communicates to players up the field, is outstanding. And he's obviously played in numerous VFL grand finals over the last few years as well. So he'll play a very important part for North City during the week, and also on Sunday as well.
Yeah, his experience is key in this game. He said during the week that it's not up to him to get 30 touches and kick 10 goals each week. He's there to kind of lead the younger guys on the field and tell them where to run and their positioning and everything like that, and give them the support and all that kind of thing. If he kicks 4 or 5 goals, it's almost a bonus.
Talking about leadership, Robbie Waters has led the side very well this season for North City, and you managed to catch up with him at the media conference a couple of days ago, Sean.
Welcome back to the BFNL Footy Show. We're here with North City coach Robbie Waters ahead of this week's grand final. Mate, firstly, good luck this week.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Yeah, it's an exciting time for our footy club. The young boys are up and about, ready to rock and roll, hopefully.
How's the feeling been at training during the week so far?
Yeah, we caught up Monday night and trained obviously last night, and the boys up and about. It's very exciting for the coaching staff as well. But so far, really good. So I look forward to training tomorrow night.
You've taken some really good form into the grand final as well. You were dominant last week against Redan. You were dominant against Darley as well. You must be really pleased with the boys' form since that qualifying final against Redan.
Yeah, look, since the qualifying final, we've been upbeat, and as you said, the form's been fairly well. But it's the challenge now for the coaching staff is to maintain it for this weekend. First quarter, first contest, and we'll reassess from there.
Nick Williams coming back into the side last week gave your forward line a really different look. Having that big target up there to kick to, and it freed up Sean Lyle as well, who we know was fantastic. Played probably his best game for the club last week as well. How important do you feel it was Nick coming back into really structuring up that forward line?
Yeah, Mick could have played the week before, slight calf, but he come back in the team and just did exactly what we were after. His game against Redan wasn't the best, and he missed that week, and had to fight for his spot. Daniel Smith played very well, so he come in and played a great role for us, and was very good. Freed up Shawnee and the other smalls as well, small forwards, and they all contributed very well because of Mick's input.
Looking at Sunbury's lineup, they're obviously very tall up forward. It's what won them the game against Redan in the second semi-final. You've got a couple of injury clouds over your side. I know Ryan Luke went down late in the game. Daniel Ross Smith's had some injury clouds as well. Is that a bit of a concern going into the game?
As mentioned all week, no injured player will play. Ryan Luke will be no problems at all. He'll play. We've got a very tall forward line. The boards are grand. Hopefully we can run the ball out. but they've got their concerns as well. They're talking about Sullivan playing. They're going to have 8 forwards to go through their forward 7. So we'll see how that reacts out as well. Yeah, especially with 80% of showers now coming Saturday. So it'll be interesting for both teams which way we go.
What's your main focus going into the game?
Just
what do you think's going to win?
Yeah, we'll settle first and just get our game running going. Everyone plays their role and win the contested footy inside and outside.
Mate, good luck. Looking forward to the game. It's going to be a great day. Best of luck.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.
It wasn't only Robbie Waters that we caught up with a couple of days ago. We also caught up with the Sunbury coach, Rick Horwood, who was obviously the premiership coach from last year. And this is what Rick had to say. Rick, another grand final, mate. This time last year, you embarking on a campaign. Have things changed much since last year?
Yeah, it's been a different campaign, probably with the injuries that we've had during the year. But come probably 2-3 weeks out from the finals, it's very similar. So good feeling. It's good.
You mentioned in the many comments before about Tim Hill, obviously dropped for last year's grand final. He's a great story. He obviously will play.
Yeah, I've already told him. I probably got around to a couple of the blokes that were in the mix to miss out. And then he was the first player I got to after the Dan game. And yeah, it's a bit of a Cinderella story, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I suppose, just on the Sunbury form over the last, 2 months, you've always been building for this time of year. You obviously rested a few players in the last home and away game. Do you think you've certainly built a side now that will give North City a good run for their money, and also, I suppose, are you happy with the way they're playing this time of year?
I'm really happy with the way they're playing, and yeah, we copped a fair bit of criticism about it during the year, but at the end of the day, we've got our best side on paper. We're playing at the right time of the year, and it showed in the 2 finals that we've played so far. That, the Sunbury finals team is looking around.
Just watching North City over the last couple of weeks, you obviously watched them on the weekend, you guys had the week off. What are their strengths and how are you going to combat, I suppose, their run on the outside?
Yeah, they're very fast, aren't they? They're very run well, they're a very fit side. If we allow the ball on the outside, they'll run us. So we'll probably try and play a real contested outside, get the ball quickly into our forwards and give them first use. If we get 14, 15 entries a quarter, I expect that we'll be really competitive.
And Andrew Duhow, he's had a bit of injury cloud hanging over his head. Will he play?
Yeah, 100%. He's trained Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and he did a full session last night, and pretty brutal fitness test, and he's all through. I spoke to him this morning. He's ready to go. He played in the VFL Reserves Premiership last year with Coburg, so he's
quality player. Yeah, very good, mate. Thanks for joining us in the BFL Footy Show, the grand final edition. Best of luck at the weekend, mate.
Thanks, Doug.
Very good. We've heard from the coaches, Shawnee. It's time to give our tips, mate. I'll start.
You go. Yep.
I think Sunbury will win this game. I think that they've, I think full credit to their coaching staff, the way they've managed their players leading up to the finals series, and I think they've been the best side so far this finals campaign. I think they've got a really fit list, and it's really important to have fit players at this time of year. I think they'll win by a couple of goals, but just seeing the forecast, a nice fine day. I think it'll be an outstanding contest. I think it'll go right down to the wire. North City's run has been really good the last couple of weeks. Their outside players have really burnt up their opposition teams. So I think Sunbury will need to curtail the North City drive. But I think Sunbury, for me, in a really close contest by a couple of goals.
Yeah, contested footy is going to be the key in this game. That's where North City have lifted their game in the last 2 weeks as well, and it's where Sunbury have been the kings over the last couple of years. Whoever can get their hands on that contested footy in close is going to win this game. Look, I just feel there's less question marks about the Sunbury side at the moment, be it through injury, be it through defensive matchups, be it through whatever. Just got that feeling that Sunbury are going to come out again in a close game, and actually I reckon it'll be a game where if it's it'll be close at three-quarter time, and it could be if a team gets a jump, it could blow out to a 5-6 goal margin pretty easy, as we see in grand finals a lot, because sometimes once a team realise that they're out of it, the head drops and they let go 2 and 3 goals pretty easy. Look, I reckon Sunbury will be the winners, but I would not be surprised at all to be announcing Robbie Waters as the premiership coach.
Mate, all will be revealed on Saturday afternoon. Shawnee, thanks very much for joining us on the last BFL Footy Show for season 2013. It's been
fun, hasn't it, mate?
It's been a pleasure having you on the show this year, mate. Done a great job. I think I've really enjoyed the interviews that you've conducted throughout the season. You've prepared to go out to games and catch up with coaches and players after games. It's been great. So you've added a extra dimension to the BFL Footy Show this year. So well done on your performance this year.
Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. We'll obviously keep raising the bar next year and see if we can't make it better in 2014.
Very good. And for those viewers who have been part of the show throughout the season, thanks very much for your input, and we hope to see you at the game on the weekend. A great game to get along to. Both football and netball should be great. Two great contests. For now, it's goodbye, and we'll see you on Saturday afternoon.
This week in the Red Onion Creative Ballarat Football League. The Red Onion Creative Ballarat Football League. Brought to you by Red Onion Creative, McDonald's, the Win Network, and these sponsors.